Hi guys, welcome to AkersFitness.com. My name is Brian Akers, and short video today I just want to show you or cover a little bit about this question right here. Is Team Beachbody a pyramid scheme or a pyramid? Typical responses. First of all, let me tell you a little bit about myself. There's a picture of me and my wife Allison there. My name is Brian Akers. I'm a full-time band director, part-time Beachbody coach. A few years ago, we got started with Tony Horton's 10-minute trainer. After that, we did P90X and Insanity. Really love the programs. Saw things in the education field weren't quite as stable as I would have liked as a graduate coming out of college. Going into that field, I was fortunate enough to find a job, however. And after seeing things were kind of shaky, started looking for other ways to supplement our income. Found the coaching opportunity and started up our own part-time coaching business with Beachbody. You can see our blog there, AkersFitness.com. Feel free to check that out. Post stuff there all the time, both fitness and business-wise. So let's dive right in. The big question is: Team Beachbody a pyramid? Now, typical responses when people ask this, you're coaching, or you're a coach, and you hand someone the Team Beachbody DVD or some other DVD, or get them on a sizzle call, what have you. What they really mean is, do you have to recruit friends and family? Do you have to go door to door with a wheelbarrow selling mud widgets? That's both no and no, and it's one way to build it. But there are other ways now, especially with the rise of the internet and YouTube and Facebook and Twitter and all this other stuff. Once in a while they'll actually mean is an illegal pyramid scam. We'll tell you how to handle that. Ponzi scheme. There's only very few of those anymore. And if they're asking about that, then chances are they're living in the Stone Ages and don't know anything about home-based businesses or network marketing, or haven't read Robert Kiyosaki or Donald Trump. And chances are they're not good prospects anyways if they're throwing that kind of thought pattern at you. Some of them may even ask you, is this Amway, is this Mary Kay? No, it's not Amway. No, it's not Mary Kay. It's Beachbody, Team Beachbody, P90X, Insanity, blah, 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 blah. But, some people, who've heard of Amway and, have had an uncle end up with a garage full of soap will probably throw the objection at you just to see how you respond. So we'll tell you how to handle that. Yes, it is an MLM, multi-level marketing. There's, legitimate marketing business model in today's world. The modern day term is also direct sales. You as a coach are selling the product directly to the consumer. But yes, it's just like Amway, it's just like Mary Kay, it's just like Avon. All of them have fantastic products. I've tried products from them all, but I haven't. I know my wife has tried Mary Kay Cosmetics and Avon stuff. We use the Avon Skin So Soft for our daughter for they got some kind of bug and sunscreen combo. Works great. Amway, I've tried their energy drinks and haven't tried their cleaning products. It kind of looks like they're moving away from that, but they have some great nutritional products and stuff that I've tried a couple years ago, and they taste great. They're all legitimate business models. Amway has done great things for Grand Rapids. I'm sure anyone who lives over there will say the same thing. They have the Amway Grand Plaza Hotel. Fantastic stuff. So yes, it's just like all of them, but better. And what I mean is this: yes, it is an MLM. Yes, it is direct sales. If you watch any of the business opportunity presentations, they go through the compensation. They go through the compensation plan, and if they draw it out, it looks like a pyramid. And that's usually where you get this pyramid objection. But let me ask you this: what organization isn't organized into a pyramid? Pretty much everything. For example, I'm a teacher at a school, and let me just show you how our school's set up. If they drew this out, it would look like a pyramid. At the top of the food chain, if you will, we have a superintendent. He has pretty much final say with school board approval. There's one superintendent, unless you have a really large school. Underneath him, you have administrators. We have a high school principal, a middle school principal, and an elementary principal. They all report to the superintendent. Then they have us teachers, staff, custodians. We all report to the administrators. And there's probably about 60 or so of us. Reports to those 3 administrators. There's probably actually more than that. And then beneath us is the students and the student body, who reports to the teachers, supposedly. And teachers, you know what I'm talking about. But anyways, here's a basic, outline of what the school structure looks like. It's set up like a pyramid. Same thing goes if you're a manager. Underneath the manager, you have co-managers or employees and so forth. A CEO up here, board of directors, managers, what have you. Pretty much everything is set up like a pyramid. The pyramid itself is just an organizational thing. What you really need to worry about is whether goods and services are traded for the money that is exchanged as a coach signing up other coaches. Goods and services are exchanged, and Beachbody were just charging coaches a few $100 and giving the money to the person that signs them up. Then yes, absolutely would be a pyramid scheme and would be illegal. Once you keep in mind that there are very few pyramids in business anymore. Like I said, that's kind of a Stone Age's thought. Like it or not, MLM is a legitimate business model, and some people may have just been living under a rock and just don't get it, and are too skeptical. And no matter what you say, it's not going to change their mind. So, as from one coach to another, don't even try. They have that way of thinking, and their uncle got supposedly scammed in Amway years ago and ended up with a box full of soap or a garage full of soap because he didn't know how to market the product that he purchased, and that's his fault. People are knocking MLM and direct sales, and I know people who have gone to college and done things the right way. For spend 4 or 5 years in college, spend upwards of $80,000 getting a degree, and they get out into the real world and they can't find a job in their field. That the $80,000 that they just spent, is down the drain. Even though they have a legitimate bachelor's degree or whatever, they can't find a job. So does that mean that colleges are a scam? Absolutely not. You're supposed to educate yourself, and it's a good idea to do so. But chances are, there's a risk either way. So people come knocking these types of businesses that charge anywhere from $40 to a couple $100 to have the chance to own and build what could become a multi-million-dollar business and support yourself for the rest of your life. It just kind of bugs me when people do that. So if you're a coach and you get this response, is this MLM? Couple responses that I use, absolutely, and I wouldn't be a part of it if it wasn't. As long as you say it with conviction, they'll be like, whoa. So that's the response I use most of the time. The response I've used, I'm kind of young, so I can kind of play dumb and say, I have no idea what that is. What's your next question? And that kind of just steers the conversation on from that. If some of the younger generation have not heard of multi-level marketing. We're kind of past the Amway phase, really, and that's just kind of 50s, 60s type thinking. The other thing you can do is ask, what do you mean by that? And they'll say, well, this is where you recruit friends and family, and then your response will be, no, we actually work with a training company where we learn how to advertise ourselves both online and offline. Then you say, are you ready to get started? Or, you could say we outsource advertising to an advertising media company, which is totally possible. You can advertise in newspapers. There's types of lead sources that you can use online, like Cutting Edge Media. Leadpower.net, I think, is one of them. You can do a search for them and find all kinds of them. With the rise of the internet, though, I don't know if I would be using too much of those. There's much, much easier ways to generate leads yourself. But anyways, so yeah, those typical responses. Be sure you practice those, role play those with a friend or another coach. Most importantly, keep your posture about you. You are doing the right thing by working your Beachbody Coach business. You have opportunities that are made available to you that other people won't. As if you're out there working it and actually doing stuff with it, and not just sitting in front of your TV at night, and not doing anything with your business, then you will see results. You just need to keep at it. Don't let people steer you wrong. The chances are most of them don't know what they're talking about, and they don't have the right to have an opinion because they haven't done any type of home business or have any kind of entrepreneurship qualities. So don't worry about it. If you want more information, if you'd like to connect with us on Facebook, I think we have a link down there below. Check out our blog at agresfitness.com. We have social media links there. You can connect with us on Twitter or Facebook. Always, if you have any questions, feel free to email us or connect with us on social media. Hope this answers some questions and hope this helps. Be sure to leave a comment. Talk to you later. Bye.